Hey guys, it's Alfred Dzadey here. I'm a property investor based in the Midlands. I invest in Coventry and I've been asked to do a video on frequently asked questions and share some tips in property investing. So I'm going to help you guys and try and give value here. So I've got a series of questions which I'm going to try and answer. Hope this helps you guys. So question number one, how do I get started in property? This is a question I get from a lot of people that see what I'm doing on social media and ask, how do I get started? What do I need to do? I've actually created a longer video on this on YouTube explaining how to get started, but to put it simple, I'd said I think the first thing is you got to understand your outcome and your goals and why you want to get into property in the first place. So what are you trying to achieve by going into property? That's step number one. Once you've understood that, I believe you need to then focus on, okay, how can I acquire the information to actually start investing in property? Who do I need to be around? So it's important to get education before you get started in these investment strategy. It's very easy to kind of feel like, well, I can go and buy a property. It's not just about buying property, there's a lot to it. So definitely get educated in exactly what it is you want to get involved in. Another point I would make as well is surround yourself with people who actively invest in property, because again, when you surround yourself with people that are doing this day in, day out, these are your go-to people. If you've got any hurdles or any issues you want to address, these are people you can pick up the phone to and literally they can help you overcome that. But in the video as well, I made a few more comments, but I think those are the three for now I think you need to focus on. So question number two, do you need money to be able to get involved in property? So depending on the strategy, and to be fair, regardless of what the strategy is, you do need some money. Whether it's your money, other people's money needs to go into the deal for the deal to be able to happen. So I'm not really a fan of people that use the term no money down. I get the principle behind it, but strictly speaking, there is no such thing as no money down. To acquire property, some money is going towards that deal. So for us to say like no money down, strictly speaking, that's not right. But you can use or leverage, leverage other people's money, or if you've got money yourself, then great, you can get involved in the deal with your own money. Obviously, depending on what strategy you do, that will determine what level of capital you need to be able to get in the deal. So yes, to answer the question simply, you do need money to be able to get involved in it, but you can leverage other people to get into the deal. Another question I get as well is, what kind of person do I need to be able to invest in property? From my point of view, I think you have to be a massive problem solver to be able to be involved in property, because property has its hurdles. I know in social media people make it look glamorous and it's all plain sailing, but no, really, in reality, it's really not. And I feel like you need to have that skill set. So problem solving, I feel like, especially when starting out, you've got to be persistent because things won't go your way. You might be doing hundreds of viewings to get one offer accepted. So there is a bit of perseverance when it comes to property and starting out. Obviously, as you get better, your conversion rates get better. You might need to only view 5 properties to get one offer accepted. But starting out, there is persistence that's required. And even still moving forward, there's still a level of persistence that's required. And as well, I would say a great belief system, because when things aren't going your way again, if you haven't got that self-belief to say, you know what, no matter what happens, this is going to happen. You've got to be able to have that self-belief, that confidence that says, regardless of what's going wrong right now, things are going to work out. So I would say that as well. There's other things as well, but I think top 3, to put it simple, I would say those 3. Another question I have is, do I need a mentor? So this question is an interesting one. Personally, I'm an advocate for surrounding yourself with people that have done this and been through this process before, because it just accelerates your journey. So don't get me wrong, you're still going to make mistakes with having a mentor around, but the mentor is there to guide you and try and help you avoid these hurdles that they've previously been through. If they see you approaching that, or if you ask the question how to get around it, they then can find a way to stop you from having that same, not failure, but like that lesson that they had to learn. They're there to help you learn that before you make that mistake, basically. If you look at even outside of property, any performing athlete, any person that's doing anything successful, they usually surround themselves with people. So they might not be strictly called a mentor, but in my mind, a mentor is someone that you can speak to about the problems you're having or seek guidance from. So even it doesn't need to be a paid. I know there's a lot of people that are asked to be paid for their time, and it is true, to be fair. As you get more successful in life, you get more busy, and your time becomes more precious. You're not just happy to just sit there and kind of give all your information away just by, do you know what I mean? So people do ask to be paid for it. But generally speaking, you can find cheaper ways of doing it as well. So for example, you can have, I call it a virtual mentor. So you might have people that you aspire to. Like for me, that's Grant Cardone, because he's always thinking big and wanting to do things on a bigger level. Rob Moore as well. So these are two people that I kind of study their content and look at their content. I literally absorb every information they put out there. So again, that could be a cost-effective way of you getting some learning, some education for free, because this stuff is on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, it's everywhere. So that's what I'll say about getting a mentor. But to answer simply, I feel like everyone should aspire to have some sort of someone that they can bounce ideas off and speak to, who's ideally in a better position than they are or have done what they're trying to do. So the next question, can property investment deals help me get rich quick? Quick. So keyword there, quick. No, property is a slow burning thing. It's a long-term strategy. It's not a get rich quick scheme. If you're in it to get rich quick, sorry, property is not it. Just find something else, because definitely property isn't it. I think there is a question later on that talks about the entire process. I'll probably leave it to then. But to answer simply, it's a great investment strategy to get rich, but definitely not quick. So you have to be patient. You have to keep doing the little steps, which then builds up to create the wealth. And then long term, yes, it is a wealth creation strategy. We have another question here. How much does it cost to do a refurb? So the refurb question, I know I get this a lot on Instagram as well, like how much you spend on your 6-bed HMO or 8-bed HMO, how much are you spending on your refurb? For me, I say it's a very hard question to answer because without knowing exactly what property you're talking about, what works needs to be done within yours, it's not, even if I told you I spent 90 grand on my refurb, doesn't mean you're going to spend that level of money on yours either. It could be more, it could be less. So I think you can kind of get a gauge on it, and I feel like this is where I come back to the point of when you surround yourself with people that are actively investing and people that are doing deals, these can be your touch points. So ideally you want someone within your area who's doing deals within your area. So because again, the price could vary from wherever you are in the country. If you're in London, it's probably even more dearer than if you are up north. So all these things factor in. So it's not as clear cut of it costs 90k to do a refurb on a 6-bed HMO. No, it's not that simple. So I would say the best thing to do is, to be honest, honestly, like what you can do is just what everybody gets told to do is find a few construction companies, builders, whatever you want to use, and get quotes of them to kind of get a gauge, and then also speak to people within the area who are doing similar projects as you and ask what are they roughly spending, and kind of use that as a gauge to kind of and kind of maybe go into detail of what they did with what their refurb entailed, and compare it to yours to see if it's the same. But like I said, it depends literally what exactly you're doing in the property. It will vary. We've got another question. So how long does the entire process take? So this is from purchase to completion of the refurb. So depending on what you're buying, I mainly focus on HMOs, but in generally when you're buying, it can be anywhere between, realistic average, I would say 2 months to go through the conveyancing process and actually buy the property. I would also say as well, like obviously there's a bit of time from you actually finding your investment area, you finding a property, but if we were to say, okay, from the minute you got an offer accepted, well, how long does it take? Then yeah, you can generally say it takes about 2 months to kind of get the conveyancing and get the keys to the property. Then again, depending on the size of your refurb, it could be anywhere. It just depends on what kind of size project you're doing. Let me talk from my perspective. So I'm doing deals where we're converting, like let's say a 3-bed with 2 reception rooms into a 6-bed and upwards from there. And they generally, the refurb entails putting on suites into the rooms, doing a rear extension, or maybe sometimes even lock conversion as well. And they generally take around 14 to 16 weeks to complete. So 2 months plus let's average of 4 months to do a refurb, depending on how big it is. Obviously, if it's just paint and decor stuff, that's a few weeks. But in my case, it takes about 2 months to purchase to get the keys, and then the refurb 4 months, so we're up to 6 months. So 6 months before you start making any actual income from this property. So there's nothing you need to understand. Hence why I say it's not really a get rich quick scheme. It does take a bit of time, because again, at that point, have you marketed the property? So you've got tenants moving in when the builders leave the site, or are you now going to market it once the builders left off site, which then might mean you might have another 4 to 8 weeks to tenant the property, depending on where you are in the country. It could go in a few weeks. Obviously depends on your location, how good your location is. And I've got one more question. So what do you look for when buying property? There's various things. I think I'm going to try and answer from a starting point of view, like when I was starting out. So you have to start with what's the demand. So if you're targeting students, you ideally want to find properties within a close proximity to the university, because obviously those are your first properties to go. So those are the ones the students are going to want to take off you quickly. And obviously the closer is the better. And then obviously depending on how many bedrooms you want it to be, again, you then look for the property. So for me, if I'm generally doing like a 6-bed, ideally it needs to have a three bedrooms and 2 reception rooms. So that's easy 5, and then maybe convert into the loft to create the 6th, or do a rear extension to convert to make a 6th room in the property. And then also as well, I'd look within the area to see what's been done as well. In terms of looking from a sky view, people convert the lofts within those areas, because that will give me a gauge, is there enough head height within that street within the loft space to be able to convert that space into an additional room, or are people extended on the rear as well. So that gives me a gauge on what can be done. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found that useful, and if you want to get in contact with me, my name is Alfred Dzadey. I am everywhere, to be honest, like LinkedIn, Instagram. To be fair, I think Instagram is probably where you probably find me the easiest. I'm more active on there, so Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel which I'm putting out a lot of property content on there. So there's a lot of Q&A sessions like this, which I'm doing now. I usually have some guests on as well to help me answer the questions and give their different perspective as well. So if you guys are interested to connect with me or learn more, by all means do so. I also have a Property Mastermind group. Again, this is people that are actively investing in property and doing different strategies, to be honest. We've got quite a diverse range of people within the mastermind group. We've got people doing buy-to-let strategies, rent-to-rent, rent-to-SAs, some are buying to doing SAs, HMOs, even developments as well. So we've got a good range of people coming together on a Tuesday, 8 p.m. Weekly, and then kind of supporting each other. We have a Q&A session each time to kind of voice our hurdles and have people give their perspective on how they've overcome that hurdle. And then also once a month we get a special guest to come on to kind of share their perspective as well, and have a Q&A session with them. So like I said guys, if you guys want to connect with me, just type my name in. I'm just spell my surname for you guys because I know it's a bit of a different name. So it's actually spelled D-Z-A-D-E-Y. So it's Dzadey, but it doesn't look like it's spelled as that. So just, yeah, type that in, you can find me. So guys, have a great Christmas. Hope you guys have fun and spend time with your families and stuff.